Hello guys and girls, and welcome to another episode of Antlers, watching giant deer antlers grow. Of course, they're not growing this time of the year. As a matter of fact, some of them get small because the deer are beginning to spar a lot. They're not fighting in full right now, but they are sparring. They are putting their horns together and pushing and shoving and trying to establish dominance. It's, that's one of the things that God's built into the deer, is to establish dominance before they get into the rut where they get crazy. I mean, that's just it. They get crazy. They're guys. They get crazy. Hey, I'm guilty. We're all guilty. But anyway, they get crazy and they will actually fight to the death then. But God lets the deer establish that dominance. So some of the bucks they know that they can push the other bucks around. Mostly it's a weight situation. A lot's got to do with the size of the rack, but it's more weight than anything else. The bigger, heavier deer are going to be able to push the other deer back, and they establish dominance. And so then they can just kind of look at them crossways, or maybe grunt at them, or say something that will cause them to stay out of their way and leave their does alone, and they'll go try to find another doe somewhere that they don't have to compete for. And we know that one buck will breed several does. He'll breed several in one day, as a matter of fact. Yeah, he certainly will. And but anyway, all that's going on. We're getting ready to go into the pen here in a few minutes, but before we do, I want to show you some videos that I've shot, the last 3 or 4 days or 5 days around the house with some of the bucks at the house, because the bucks at the house are we got a lot of them. We got 5 or 6 hanging around. We have extras coming in as the rut gets going and those deer start coming in. So let's take a look at those, and then after that, we'll go take a look at Whitey. Whitey's always a prize to look at, and we've had some problems keeping him alive here in the last few weeks, but he's doing well. Wind just now came up, so I'm gonna have to hook a microphone up, and we'll see what happens. Y'all take a look at that buck right there. He looks almost identical to Forrest, except he is a perfect 8-point. Big, beautiful deer. Look at him. He's got a white tag. He's the exact same age as Forrest, and he is a pretty one. And doesn't come around here, but he's coming in here and joined everybody, and you can see everybody is looking pretty doggone good. TC is flexing his muscles all the time. Little Molly, she just gets right in amongst all of them, and they don't mess with her. Over here, 3 boys right there, and my man Forrest. Not 6. Forrest, you can take a look at his legs right there. You can see what happened back there. It's just a horrible injury, and it's on both sides. But it looks like there's no infection there anymore. Everything is dry. You see how high that goes up that leg? That's horrible. But it looks like he may be okay. Looks like he may be okay. A little windy out here. And TC, what can we say about TC? Definitely, without a doubt, full of woods. Big 300-pound bruiser. Big giant antlers. Can't get all the velvet off of them. Look at that deer. Little Lucky 13. They're little this year. His first horns. But they will grow. And they're going to be some dandies, even though they're tiny this year. The horns of the brotherhood. Yeah, but okay, guys, I know that wind noise may be bad, and it's almost dark. I'm zoomed out all the way. Apache and I have about determined that we can't see a tag on that deer. He's up relatively close. We're zoomed out. And we saw that deer the other day. And guys and girls, you should know what deer that is. I believe that is 12-point. That has got to be 12-point right there. Big, beautiful deer. We saw him the other day, and he hadn't been around much more. 12 point hung around a lot during the winter, and after they lost their horns, we didn't see him too much. Of course, we probably saw him and didn't know it, because you don't know after they lose their antlers. But that deer does not have a tag. Should be in that ear right there we're looking at. We're pretty doggone close. I'm zoomed in all the way with this iPhone. I believe that's 12 point. It turned into a beautiful 8 point. Oh, the bucks are looking good this morning. The bucks are looking good this morning. Rain is getting closer, closer, closer. As I speak, it's getting closer. And I'm telling you, we're looking good. There's some doe walking off out there. More deer coming around, little deer coming around without tags in their ear, quite a few of them. There's actually that doe on further out there, you can see, has no tag. She's come around because of the boys and because of the food. But she's got a lot of good looking boys here. Look at that boy right there. Isn't he pretty? Isn't he pretty? I think that deer has no tag. There's little 13, lucky 13. It's gonna be interesting to see him make it next year. Isn't she a pretty doe? That's what Forrest is thinking. Forrest might get well enough to participate in the rut. I don't know. You can see he still needs to gain some weight. Look at that back leg. You can take a look at that. Both sides look like that. Both sides have got terrible infection, eating away that flesh. But Cade Koppenberger, my veterinarian, said that he would probably actually grow hair back over that. So that'd be fantastic if it does. You can see it's on this side over here too. You didn't get to see that, but you can see he's gained a little bit of weight back, but not much. He's still got a long way to go. He's eating a lot. I found a box of 5-pound bag of pecans, custom cracked pecans, that had come back to us last year, and we had set it aside somewhere. You can look at the inside of that leg. It's terrible. You can see he's still having troubles, and it had we didn't put it back in the freezer like we should have when we got it back. And so they were old tasting, and so I ate one or two of them, and I thought, I'm gonna give those a deer. And I carried that 5-pound bag out there, and Forrest just gobbled them up. He ate them right out of my hands. It was so cool, so cool. As a pretty expensive meal. It was a $40 meal there. This year's prices would be a $53 meal. You can see the inside of his leg there. You can take a nice look at it right there. But you can see that there's no infection in there. There's no draining. You can see it goes all the way up, all the way up, all the way up. Oh, I tell you, so proud. I think he's going to make it. We're not positive. See, both legs are that way. Not a great look there. Forrest says, hey, this is not the best look at me, boss. So let's look over here and look at that pretty boy. Well, one of the first things that we notice as we get into the pen is we have no split ears up here to greet us. We have split ears is always here once I get up here and start talking. No matter where she is in all these large enclosures right here, she comes up. Now we do have a couple deer here to meet us, but I did not bring any carrots because there's no split ear here. Now, before any of y'all get to worrying about split ear, because I know the old girl, and she may be the oldest deer we have. These deer here are looking for carrots is what they're doing. They're fat. Look how fat and sleek and beautiful those girls are. But anyway, they are, the reason the split ear is not here is we have moved her to a new home. That's right, we have put her in with Whitey. She's in there with the yellow tag also that will come up and eat out of your hands. We've named her the Yellow Rose, and so she is. Both of those are in with not with Whitey, with Prince Charming. I said Whitey, with Prince Charming. They are in with Prince Charming, and also in with Prince Charming is Molly, our little doe from home. We're going to actually leave her with the babies and separate those here once the rut gets going here. But what has happened is we've got another deer in there too. I think it's a green tag deer that's in there. So we've got to have 3 does with Prince Charming. I would like to get another or 2 in there. I don't know if that's possible. We shot a video moving our beautiful split ears, and you see some of the babies are still hanging around. We've been kind of counting them day by day, and they're all here. We haven't found any that's lost. And we're kind of hoping that split ears babies will move down around the house. We're kind of hoping maybe they will follow the scent. We did shoot a video of that, and I don't know if you probably haven't seen the video yet, but we'll be seeing that video in the next day or 2. But you can look and see all the deers. You can see the babies outside are staying fat and healthy. They're got plenty to eat outside. It's a beautiful little buck and a That's two bucks, a smaller buck and a really large buck. Look at the size of that one buck there on the outside. Those are on the outside. And they're walking down through there. There's 5 babies right there. And I saw 3 on the other side, so that's 8. So they're still all around. All right, we're going to take a look at Whitey, and Whitey is still not really walking or moving around like he should. We haven't given him a shot in about a week. We probably ought to give him another antibiotic shot. But you can see how he looks right there. He's standing much better, but he is. We're going to get him out in the sun where we can take a look at those horns. He has not broken anything off, although he's been fighting through the fence. I've seen him, and again, not fighting, just sparring through the fence. But you can see when he walks, he's looking pretty good. We're going to try to get him. Well, he's going to get out in the sun for us there. We'll just follow him down a little bit here. Don't want to get too close or push him, but you can see he's walking good. Now, he was laying down when I got here, so he probably really hadn't got up for the morning. And he's going to check that doe out. No, she's not ready to play. They have their ways of knowing. Real quickly he figured out that she was not ready to play. And she's chewing on a rock right there. That's not really good. That girl does not look good. She's dripping. Uh-oh, that's not real good at all. That's green tag. She looks beautiful, but looks to me like she may be fighting that blue tongue. Doggone it. We haven't had any since that freeze. It looks like she sure may be fighting that blue tongue. I'm going to give her a shot and we'll see what happens. We'll give her a shot here in a little bit. It's not good. Looks like she's chewing and dripping. Not good at all. Let's take a look at Whitey a little bit more. Okay, we'll look at Whitey a little bit more because he is just such a big, beautiful specimen. And he's standing a lot better. He's standing a lot better, doesn't have his hind end up. I'd like to get around in front of him a little bit if I can and look at that cyst. That cyst has gone down a lot. It has been draining, and I think it's pretty much drained out. It should just absolutely, totally go away, just like it did with Molly. We're kind of betting on that. You know, we are not deer farmers. We do not sell deer. We do not sell hunts. And you look around the front of him, you can see that that cyst is gone. I mean, it's just totally gone. You can't see it at all. Let's move around. I don't know if let me get right down here, really right in front of him or not. But we're shooting right back into the sun too, which is good. But you can take a look in the front of him. You see that the cyst is gone and he's looking great. Pat will kill me when he sees this and sees me shooting into that sun. He looks so beautiful there. But again, you can see that cyst is gone. I'll pan back out a little bit where you can see the full deer. He's just absolutely looking great. He is still not feeling 100%. There's absolutely no doubt about that. He's not feeling 100%. But he's moving around pretty good. He's not limping anymore. He might be limping just a little bit. I think he's just getting up for the morning because it's early in the morning and just moving around. But he looks really, really good. Let's take a look at some of the other deer in here. And we'll go up and feed some carrots to Split Ear in her new abode and take a look at Prince Charming. Okay, as we walk over on this side of the pen, Whitey walked over here with us, as a matter of fact. Actually, he walked over before we did. We walk over on this side, we see that everybody's looking good. I see nobody with their mouth dripping over here. Everybody's looking fine. It's always when you come in, hey girl, what you doing? What are you doing, baby, huh? What you doing? Big, fat, beautiful deer, all looking good. And you see there's another baby walking on the outside over there. That baby there to the left is on the outside. Here's another baby right up here by the gate saying, Jimmy, please open that gate, let me back in, that's my house. It's a little bit like being put out of your house, I guess, to them, but it's something that's got to happen. It's a little bit sad when you do it. But we look down there and we see that everybody's looking good. The does are just big and fat and pretty, and they got lots to eat. Actually, I see another baby down there. There's 3 babies right on the outside right there, and so there's just a lot of babies hanging around the outside of the fence, and we've been counting them every day, and so far we haven't lost any at all. Some of them should start moving around. I did see some going the same path that we took Split Ear and her buddy Rose. We took them down and put them in with Prince Charming, and so I'm thinking I'm thinking that maybe those babies might follow that scent of where we led them down through there. And it was quite a deal getting them down through there. Deer don't lead, and you can't hurt them, either one. They're not cattle. They're not cattle. And so those deer are feeding on some acorns that's falling out of those trees right there. Probably about as soon as we get some wind and the acorns fall, they start eating. But they're looking beautiful. They're looking great. Whitey's right back there in the back of them, looking really, really good. And so everything seems to be going good down here with the exception of that one deer. I'm going to give her a shot, but boy, I'm telling you, it looks bad. It just looks bad. She just looks like she has the blue tongue. And I sure thought that freeze, we need another freeze. We don't have another one scheduled. We need another freeze to get rid of it, or it could hurt us a little bit more. And the sad thing about it, that girl dies, it's probably 1 or 2 babies that we will not have during the springtime. That's what's really, really sad, as well as, of course, losing the doe, which is you know, very, very valuable. But anyway, most of the deer look great here. We'll just kind of see what happens. All of those deer there with the red tag are deer that were born here in the pen. Those are 3-year-old does right there. They're beautiful. They've survived all of the rigors of heat and winter and freezing and cold and storms and blue tongue. And those are 3-year-old does right now that were born right here. And they're just beautiful does, both of them, looking absolutely fantastic. And so with the exception of that one, everything's looking good up here in the pens. Whitey's looking great, and he's got him a bunch of girls, and hopefully that you know, I don't know, you know, hopefully that deer's got something besides blue tongue, but it sure does look like it. And I can recognize that too well, even though I try to deny it when I see it and try to call it pneumonia or something else that we can give them antibiotics and Exelon and stuff like that for. So anyway, that's kind of looking at the deer in the pen. We'll take, as we walk out, we'll kind of look at some on the other side. And the babies are still hanging around, and they will hang around this area for quite some time until they get want to move around. We're hoping that some of them come up around the house, and we're hoping that at least maybe split ear and yellow roses babies will get up there and get in the house. There's another baby walking on the other side of the fence down there, so I'm sure they're all here. Except those 3 I saw heading toward our house. They were about halfway over there. They still don't know where they're going. But hopefully they're following that scent of their mothers, which we just moved in the last day or 2. And y'all will see that video. It's kind of fun. It's kind of fun. Yeah, there's the baby. No, it's a doe. It's on the inside right there. Everybody in here, with the exception of that one doe, looking good.